Welcome to Coffee with the Mayor. I'm Sally Faith, and I'm just really pleased today to have Dan Faust with us. We're going to talk about the Oktoberfest, which is going to be upon us before we know it. Dan is the chairman of the committee and has made it. He and the members of his committee have made the Oktoberfest a very successful event, have worked hard, and so we're just going to talk about it. How you doing, Dan? Thanks for coming.
I'm doing well, and thank you for the opportunity again.
Absolutely. So tell me now, all right, now when is Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest is always the last full weekend in September.
Okay.
This year it's the 26th, 27th, and 28th.
All right, good.
In Frontier Park.
In Frontier Park. It's just, the park's looking good. It's just...
it's a beautiful park.
Yes, it is. It's just super. Now, why don't we go down the list, if you would, of the activities and what's going to happen. And now, when we say, does it start that you gave me the dates, what are those, Thursday or Friday?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, good. So tell me what's going to start on Friday.
Well, the official start of the festival is 4 o'clock on Friday.
Yeah.
We try and get entertainment going. We're still trying to decide if we were going to do the tapping of the barrel on Friday or Saturday, because we traditionally have done it on Saturday after the parade.
Gotcha.
But as a segue into that conversation, we're not going to have a parade this year, and so the official start of it, we're trying to figure. It officially starts on Friday.
Yeah.
Maybe the tapping of the barrel will be Friday afternoon also.
Okay, and that's fine. You know, just let me know what you need, you know, my office to do and to be there and when or whatever. And but it's just, I hope it's just great weather. It was last year, wasn't it?
Weather was perfect.
Perfect.
And, for an outdoor festival, weather is number one.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And for me, the perfect weather needs to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Oh.
Because that's the setup.
Sure.
The tents have to go up, so thus the park grounds have to be able to accommodate vehicles and stuff moving in and out. So once you get your tents in place, you have your little city built, then people can get into the park and enjoy whatever's there. Even if it had rained a little bit, it wouldn't make any difference.
That's a good point. And see, you don't think of that. You think, oh, you want good days, the days of the event. It'd be perfect to have days on both of those events.
Absolutely.
That's right. Well, good. So Friday at 4, and tell me why you got involved with the Oktoberfest. I sort of whooped that on you, didn't I?
That's a scary question. Actually, and I'm going back to our opportunity with Sister Cities. We had visited Germany several times, and we went to their neighborhood festivals, and you know, they weren't Oktoberfest, but they were fundraisers or festivals for whatever cause you might imagine, and they had tents up that would hold 2,000 people.
Oh my goodness!
And my wife Carla and I were just blown away by it, and we came back from one of those adventures, as I call them, and St. Charles was hosting an Oktoberfest, theirs, which was, you know, it's 28 years old now, and when we got down there, former council member Bob Hefner was there, and St. Charles Lions were hosting a beer booth, and I started talking to him. They had a siding company, they had a window company, and they had no German food, they had no real German entertainment. I shouldn't say that. They had Waterloo German Band, which was a great group, but it really wasn't an Oktoberfest or even a German festival like I had seen in Germany. So I made the comment to him. I said, you know, this is embarrassing to the city of St. Charles, and if we're going to call it Oktoberfest, we should do everything in our powers to create that atmosphere. And so Bob was on the city council, and he brought it back, and he got the St. Charles Sister City involved the first year, and we were involved, the First Capital Lions and the St. Charles Lions. And the sister cities didn't make the money they felt they should make, and they wanted to back out of it, so they offered it to me, and I took it. And the rest is
all history.
It's kind of history, you know. And it's kind of neat because it's kind of like a person painting a picture. You know, I have a vision of what it should be or could be.
Sure.
So I really worked hard at trying to establish that. and it's so
You
far
had the
so good.
vision, yeah.
I had a vision on what it would be, and I have a great committee, and they bought into it.
Good.
So
Yeah, because one person, 2, 3, 5 can't do it. It takes a group, and I think your group is like 16.
16 people.
16 people.
Yeah.
That's
And out of
a
that,
lot.
there's nine members of the First Capital Lions involved in it.
Uh-huh.
So the First Capital Lions Club is a big part of the Oktoberfest.
Great.
We couldn't do it without that organization. Okay. And ironically, I'm the president of that club this year too.
You are busy.
Goes around in circles.
That's right.
Yeah.
It does. That's right. Well, that's super. Now, tell us some of the things that will be happening when people on Friday at 4 or Saturday or Sunday when they come down to the park.
Well, kind of an interesting thing. I've kind of made the joke that we're off the Katy Trail, so the Oktoberfest is going express this year. Okay. And by saying that, we have the Alpine. First of all, we have the Obenheim Express,
okay,
which has been here. This would be 8 times in
wow.
7 times in 8 years.
That's great.
So they're great. They're great friends, and they're the anchor for the Oktoberfest for us. But we have the Obenheim Express. We have the Alpine Express.
Oh my!
We have the Austrian Express.
Oh my gosh!
And we have the Ken and Mary Turbo Accordion Express coming.
That is, so it's an express event.
So yeah, I've talked to my advertising group, and I said, we need to work in a little train called the Oktoberfest, and all these little cars called, the different bands. I thought it'd be a cute scenario.
That's great.
So on Friday night we have basically 4 entertainment areas. We have the Miller Lite, which is the JC stage, AKA now it's the 7-Up 10 stage.
Okay.
We have a sponsor. And that will have the Alpine Express on it. Then in the Hofbrau tent, which is where the Lions clubs are, we have Obenheim Express. And then you move down to the Wine Garden area, and we're expanding that this year. And we have the Austrian Express.
That's towards the boathouse.
That's just on the other side of the Katy Depot.
Okay, all right,
And,
good.
so
all right.
And then that will have Austrian Express. And then we have the 80s band, which is, we have an Oompa-free area. So once you cross over by the statue, you have the Oompa-free area, and that's where we have rock and roll, country, bluegrass.
That's great.
So Friday night we have the 80s band. So there's a wide variety of things going on.
Can't say you don't have something going that meets everybody.
And
That's
we actually have utilized the north end of the park this year, and we don't know if we're going to start at Friday or Saturday, but we're going to do a Warsher tournament. And some Stein challenges for running with full beer steins, and some different things, trying to create a fun little area where people can go for different competitions. Things that don't cost you a lot of money to put on, but they're enjoyable to watch and participate in.
And cheer people on.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. So
Good.
our children's area starts at Friday at 4 o'clock also,
Okay.
which has always been a crown jewel for the festival. And once again, we have an application to the State Department to put it right directly behind the State Building in Frontier Park. Really, Friday night just people enjoying the food and the music and stuff.
That's a nice evening.
Yeah, a nice evening
Friends
to come out
and
and
fellowship
enjoy.
and whatever you drink. Yeah.
And Saturday morning we'll start out with the JDRF walk. That starts out at the Katy Depot, goes down the Katy Trail, and falls out on Boonslick and then back on Main Street, and it makes a loop. And we just partnered with JDRF about 5 years ago.
And talk about what JDR.
Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, and once again, as being a Lion member, we really work hard at trying to eradicate blindness.
Sure.
And diabetes is the number 1 cause for blindness. So this was an opportunity for us to give a platform for JDRF. We receive nothing from it. It's strictly, we market it. It's part of the Oktoberfest. I get the permits for it, and they come down and they have people that pledge, to walk, and they raise a lot of money for the cause, and the people love it because it's a short mile walk, and they get to be on Main Street for a short period of time. So it's very nice. Then after that, we officially start the activities in the park at 10 o'clock, and that means there's music on each stage. Sam Adams will be here. They're a partner, a true partner, and they will be. They have a national Stein hoisting competition, and they'll be going from 12:30 to 4:30, and people will have an opportunity to get into the finals, to men and women, and then in the Hofbrau tent at 5 o'clock we'll have the championships for them, as well as the broad eating contest. We have Swiss meats out of Hermann, Missouri, or I should say out of Swiss, Missouri.
Swiss, Missouri.
They're the sponsor for the brats again this year, and it's worked out really well for us. It's extremely well for us. So some fun opportunities for people to participate and get you. It would give you the real sense of Germany. You know, we're not in Munich. We're in St. Charles.
That's right.
So what we're trying to do is put together something that will give you at least a slight feel of a real Oktoberfest. So Saturday is just a day filled with entertainment and fun activities all day long. We have we'll have a blow-up area for the older kids, so they can go participate and have fun while mom and dad may be having a drink or food or whatever. And we have the wiener dog race, which is the other crown jewel. That
is.
It has grown, and I think we had about 500, maybe about 500 dogs there last year, which is really a challenge with the no dogs in the park ordinance. So I would just, for the viewing public, if you have a wiener dog and you're coming to participate in the wiener dog derby from 12 o'clock to basically 6, you're welcome in the park. But if you have any other type of domestic pet, you cannot bring them, and please don't, because it creates a burden on us and the park staff, the park rangers and stuff, and I don't want to see anybody get a ticket.
No.
Very uncomfortable situation, but I understand it. And so the wiener dogs, they
so
get
it's not the October, it's the council that has passed that ordinance, and so
absolutely.
Just want to make that clear.
It's a city ordinance. It's not ours, but I will say as a festival organizer, it's you know, it's very hard to tell people when they have big dogs, little dogs, all types of dogs, that you can't come, but it's a much more enjoyable festival if you don't have to step over dogs and leashes and stuff like that.
That's true.
And so I'm not objecting to the city ordinance. I just hope people understand they can't bring their animals. I don't want to see people get a ticket.
No.
That's the biggest issue.
No, that's right.
So,
absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of tickets, how much are they?
There are no tickets. The festival is free to anybody who wants to come and enjoy all the activities. The only thing it's like smoking cigarettes. We charge a sin tax. Anybody drinking alcoholic beverages has to get a bracelet, and that bracelet will be checked by the St. Peter's Lions Club. Your ID will be, and you'll be given a bracelet and $2, and they get 50 cents of it, and the rest of the money goes to help pay for the festival. We have a huge festival, and it costs a lot of money to put it on. Most people don't understand, but I just signed a contract just for a portion of the tents, $22,000. So
it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and then there'll be another $5,000 going to another tent company and stuff. So you know, I just want people to appreciate the fact that the $2 may seem like an annoyance, but it does help us to ID the drinkers. And people serving at the booths then aren't required to check IDs unless somebody doesn't have a bracelet. Then they have to send them to a booth to get it. So it is an inconvenience for our guests, but it does help us overall.
Well, and I think you're right. But most events do it.
They are now.
They are now. Yeah, they are now, and so it's not like, So I mean, it's understandable. But I'm glad you're able to say where the money's going and so on.
Well, I think it's important, and we put a sign up and we make it clear that that we derive no money from the city of St. Charles or the Parks Department and stuff, even though you guys help us immensely. You know, I mean, you're just not writing a check out, but the time your staff puts in and everybody else, it's a big deal. And we are true partners with the city and with the Parks Department and
to get it done.
To get it done, and you mentioned earlier. You know, when we took this over, there was about 5,000 people that were going to the Oktoberfest, as we'll call it. Now, last year, our estimate was pushing 70,000.
And that's something.
So, and I always use the analogy that it's like a father watching his son grow up. Well, this is the same way. We took it over in its infancy, and we've watched it grow. And so it's been a tremendous sense of pride for the whole committee. and we look at the benefit back to the city as far as the tourism side of it. We called last year to check the rooms around St. Charles. All the hotels were full last year for the Oktoberfest weekend, and you know, us alone, just the Oktoberfest, for my bands, I just put out through tourism. I utilize their services, and we need 70 room nights. So we need 25 rooms for just the band members coming in from out of town. And you think about the vendors and the guests that come in. So it has really become, we think, a nice little economic impact for the community. So.
I agree with you, and it's a good time, fun time, and but people come that maybe hadn't come before for anything, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know this was here," you know. So now they know. That
happens quite often.
Yes.
Obviously, you know, I'm a pretty social guy, so if somebody's willing to stop and take a moment to talk, I'll talk to them.
Yeah.
And I ran into a lot of people that way. And most interesting was a couple of ladies. Actually, 4 of them came from Quincy, Illinois, a couple of years ago, just to visit Main Street. Had no idea Oktoberfest was going on. They went down to the festival and they never really visited Main Street. Last year they brought their husbands. So,
see, that's
so
great.
the women did go to Main Street. The guy stayed in the park. So, so I found that really exciting. It was very interesting. But we also had a guy coming in from Kentucky, and he was looking for Hofbrau beer, and he was trying to find it. And they mentioned that we had the Oktoberfest going on, so him and his wife came up, spent the weekend in St. Charles, went to the Oktoberfest, picked up their Hofbrau beer from the local stores, and took it back to Kentucky. So so just little things, little stories you pick up that really add some value to the festival
and meaning. And you're right. I do the same thing when I'm walking down the street. I just, you know, if someone looks like they're lost, I figure they're not. They're from out of town. So I introduce myself, and an example was. I think about a week ago on Friday morning, I was getting coffee at Picasso's, and I saw 4 ladies walking down the street, and they just looked like they were reading all the historic signs on the buildings and everything. And I said, introduced myself, and I said, you know, are you from here, from out of town? And they had girls' weekend, and they met from all over the United States and met in St. Charles. And I said, well, now you've got to go down to April's on Main. So they went down there and said, the mayor told us we need to come down here, you know. And so I told him some other sites to see, and but it's fun, and it tickles me to death that, as it does you when you talk to these people, that you're right, it's catching, it's happening, it's working, it's important.
It's, you know, I'm a lifer here. So,
sure you are.
You know, so to see St. Charles grow in the fashion it's grown, and we can always look back and say, well, there's good and there's bad and whatever. But for me, as a lifelong resident here, and my wife, and now obviously my kids, we look at St. Charles and the activities. There's literally any time of the week or weekend that you can do so much in St. Charles. It has, you know, you don't need to go to St. Louis to enjoy yourself. So we look at the festival as just another opportunity for the residents of St. Charles to show off what we have. And that river, and most people don't understand it, the Missouri River flowing in front is one of the most spectacular rivers in the country.
It is.
And people love water. And you'll notice if you come to the Oktoberfest, there's very, very few tents on the east side of the sidewalk in the park. And the reason is we want to keep the park, the visual open to the river.
That's great.
We put tables out there, and we have setting areas.
Yeah.
And I think the residents enjoy it. I think the guests enjoy it. And I know personally, from my perspective, I enjoy it. So works out real well.
I think it's great. Now, I say to people, you know, because in my mind, when you look at the river, you know, it's going north, going downstream north, and I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking, well, you know, I thought, well, what's wrong with that river? You know, it should be going south downstream, but it's not. It is not. It goes up north. And it's downstream, and I think that's pretty cool.
It's a very cool. It's you know, now obviously the river's a very cool setup as long as it stays in its banks.
True, very true, very true.
You know, that would be the other thing. You know, when you start seeing this rain and stuff going all over the country, that, you know, you always worry about it coming into the park and then changing. you know, we don't have another location that we could take and pick up the Oktoberfest and move it. And so Frontier Park, we built the festival around Frontier Park. And so we want the Missouri River to stay where it's at.
Absolutely.
Look beautiful. And have people enjoy it.
It can go any way it wants.
It can go
North
anywhere.
or south.
Absolutely.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care. That's good. So then on the last day then, on Sunday.
Sunday morning we start off, we have a SSM, St. Joe. This is their second year of being a sponsor, and they're sponsoring a 5K fun run and a 1 mile root beer walk, we call it, for the kids and stuff. And so that will take off behind Llewellyn's on Riverside, and we'll go down to Clark Street, come back Main Street to Jefferson, up Jefferson to 2nd, and then Jefferson all the way down to Tecumseh, and then back into the Katy Trail, and then back into Frontier Park. And it's turned out, you know, our first year we had 150 runners, then it was 250, last year it was 500. So we see this growing every year, and we try and encourage people to run in their German outfits if they can.
Sure.
And you know, it's turned out to be a fun event, and we partnered up with CF Foundation, which is cystic fibrosis, and you know, everything we do, we try and incorporate some charity. And I really like to make mention of this. The Oktoberfest is a not-for-profit. We do need to make money. We need to make sure we have money in the bank. To, you know, it costs about $50,000 a year just to write deposit checks out for everything. So you got to have money in the bank, like the Festival of Little Hills. But after that, beyond that stage, you know, all the money that we try and raise goes back to the community, in whether it's a cystic fibrosis or it's Keen that handles the children's area, or it's the Lions clubs, or it's the American Legion, the Marine Corps League. I can go down the list. It was about $150,000 worth of checks that I wrote out last year for different organizations back into the community. So when people come down there and they look at the Oktoberfest and they say, well, your beer's too high, or well, I don't want to buy the bracelets and stuff, understand it's not like Dan Faust or Carla or anybody else on the committee is taking a paycheck. You know, we do this because we love it, and we do give back. So, you know, yeah, your $2 bracelet, yeah, it's going to help the St. Peter's Lions and with their charitable causes, but that other 75 cents is going to help pay for it. Well, actually, $1.50. $1.50. It used to be, the other $1.50 is going to help pay for the festival, and whatever's left over goes to help other charities. So it's really a fun event. And then we kind of wind up the Sunday with just entertainment, winding down. We're all nursing our sore legs, sore backs and stuff. And looking to 5 o'clock when it officially closes, and we can start breaking down and get back to life as normal as we can.
Life as usual. That's Well, it sounds like a really busy time, but I appreciate all the details you've given us, and certainly there will be information on the Convention and Tourism webpage. And the Oktoberfest. And the Oktoberfest.
And I'll give it, it's www.St. Charles, spelled S-A-I-N-T, Charles, Oktoberfest, and that's O-K-T-O-B-E-R-F-E-S-T. Yes. If you Google Oktoberfest, you'll get it. We generally come in the top 10, and which is kind of neat on the Google, because we really work it. That is. But it is, you know, and different Oktoberfests will move in those positions as they get closer. Right. But ours has been, it works out real well. And if you have any questions, they can email me at St. Charles Oktoberfest @yahoo.com.
And that's S-A-I-N-T, Charles.
Spelled out. It's long.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
But
okay,
hey,
that's fine.
Think about Germany. Every word they have over there is long.
Is long. That's very true. Last names, middle names, first names.
So
that's good.
We're just trying to incorporate that.
So now, as far as getting in the races and the runs and the walks and stuff, do they register ahead of time?
They can go to our website.
Okay.
They can find out all the information from whether they want to be a vendor, which is almost impossible. Almost full. We have there's two things there must be money in, and the main one must be kettle corn.
Yes.
We have like 25 applications. We're already booked out, and but every year we get inundated. And the other one is Century, the candle stuff.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah,
the right
I know
word.
what you mean. Yeah.
But
yeah.
but we have the girls just mentioned to me at the last meeting that we had 70 vendors and 85 booths taken up already.
Wow.
So they're really conscientious about it. Now we'll say we have a new German vendor coming in.
Oh yeah.
This is Bavarian Specialties out of Minnesota. And
Minnesota.
yeah, Minnesota, and they're coming down, and they're going to be a new vendor for us.
Good.
And we have a photography company coming out of Minnesota also.
I'll be darned.
So yeah, these.
That's a good
and
idea.
I don't know if we're going to get these folks or not, but I just received a Schnitzels and Giggles, and they are a German vendor out of New Hampshire. And they want to come to our Oktoberfest, and this is why I mentioned it. We're international, and we're definitely national because we have people coming from all over. But it's important that our vendors that are there make money.
Yeah.
If they can't make money,
they won't come back.
So you can't have 10 of one type. You know, like kettle corn. You know, if you have a couple of them, you're okay.
That's right.
And we have a German restaurant coming, Romantoff's from Muscoda, Illinois.
Oh, wonderful.
They are taking over for the First Capital Lions, and so we're going to have authentic German food in the Hofbrau tent this year.
Oh, wonderful.
Just another step, trying to create some authenticity.
Yes.
So.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will have all that information, and certainly it's just going to be exciting. And I say thank you to you and your family and their involvement and courage and how they work hard, and also the volunteers that and the Lions Club. And it's important. It's certainly part of the city, the community, the citizens, and come down and have a good time.
Well, and I want to thank you. Obviously, we've been friends for a long time, long before you became the mayor, and your support of the Oktoberfest is instrumental into its success. You know, if you don't have the leadership of the community and that's supportive of what you do, it makes it impossible to do it. So, you know, speaking on behalf of our committee, obviously, you know how I feel about you.
Sure.
You do a great job, and we're excited about having you as a partner. And from tourism to the parks to your city staff, everybody bends over backwards helping us to be successful. So, you know, it's not like Dan Faust alone. It's not as my son told me earlier, he said, think of yourself as French as we, you know?
Oh, we.
Yeah, he said, there's no I, Dad. Well, because I have a tendency to say I a lot, you know? But we. As a collective body, and that's the city, that's the festival and the parks and everybody.
All the partners.
We are all partners, absolutely.
Yes,
and
good.
thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for coming. And we want to thank you. I would like to thank you. See, I was saying we. I would like to thank you for watching, and you can find out information and plan on going to that Oktoberfest, that last weekend in September. Stick that in your mind and mark it on your calendar. Thank you very much.